I've been able to spend a week with this 2022 Genesis GV70, their first ever luxury compact SUV, and I've got some things that I like and things that I don't like that I think you should know. Before we get started, I want you to know this isn't a detailed review. These are just a few things that I like and don't like that I think would be important for you to know as a buyer. I have a full review of this vehicle and a night video in the description below, so be sure to check those out if you want to see all the details. But let's get into it. Okay, I'm just going to start with the dislikes in no particular order. If you want to fast forward, you can definitely find more likes, but no particular order with the dislikes is going to be in here. It's the fact that we don't have wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and you know, that's common in even things like a Honda Civic. So we have a wireless charging mat right there, so you would think you would get wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, but you don't on any trim level. Some of you probably won't use it anyways, but it's nice to have, especially if you use navigation or Waze or communication and to help people stay off their phones. But it's nice to have a wireless charging bin, but you still have to be plugged in, at least at the time of this video. Small dislike, but still a dislike. Now my second dislike is something that I can't get it to do while I've been recording. I've tried like 5 times, the engine's warm, but it's the fact that the auto stop start feature is the jerkiest auto stop start I think I've ever been in. At least recently, because when you come to a stop, it'll shut off, you know, and that's normal. But then when you go, it's a solid wait and a really big shutter before it starts up and goes. I mean, it's a pretty big jerk. It's unsettling inside the cabin. You can turn it off, but then every time you get back in the vehicle and turn it on, it's going to be automatically on. So just the fact that you have to deal with that if you don't turn it off every time, it's a pretty big shutter, way more than what I've noticed in some other vehicles. Now my next dislike, the third thing, is going to be a little more picky, and all of these are pretty picky because Genesis has just still done a really good job with this, but it's going to be these infotainment controls. So here's the deal. This is still a touchscreen. I mean, you can touch it, but it's quite a ways away. It's not ideal to be able to reach forward and touch it because it's recessed back on the dash, but you have controls here. So you have this dial here and you have some buttons. I love how you have like a back button, home button, menu button, volume, tuning knob, everything right here. But where your arm rests is more so where the shifter is. And the shifter and this are both circular. So this has kind of some rough edges on it like that, where this is totally smooth around, to where you can tell the difference if you're not looking in placement, but you actually have to kind of have your arm a little bit more into a reach to use things you're more likely going to use, more so than with the shifter. I'd rather have these kind of flip-flopped. Just a small complaint, but where my arm rests, I like to be able to have it a little closer. Really, really small complaint, but still something I feel like could be perfected. Now my next dislike is something about equipment and options that you get on this model. So this is the 2.5 liter turbo 4-cylinder. You can get a 3.5 liter turbo 6-cylinder. And if you want certain features, you have to go up to the more expensive, more powerful engine option, which I wish you could get those on here, even if you had to pay more, but you still have to jump up to a whole new engine to be able to get a couple things like a head-up display, heated seats in the back, at least in the US, extra controls, more than just your typical controls for the front seat. Like if you want extra adjustments, you have to jump up to the 3.5 liter turbo. A fully digital gauge cluster, you don't have that here. You have to jump up to the 3.5 liter turbo if you want to get those kinds of things, and a couple other things too. Now moving on to the things I like, and there are definitely more of these in no particular order. As we're driving, the first thing is that this is fun to drive. It's a great balance of fun and comfort, and we're not even in the fastest model. I mean, it's not blazing fast or anything, but you've got a lot of good torque, a responsive transmission, and if you put it into sport mode, you can have some fun. And I think it's the biggest thing that I like about the driving dynamics is that you don't have an overwhelming amount of power with no ride comfort, or no overwhelming ride comfort with no good handling. It's just a great combination. And the steering, the weight of the steering is pretty beefy. And there's a part that I'm going to add on to this kind of at the end of the likes, but if you enjoy driving, you're going to enjoy driving this Genesis GV70, even though it's not a sporty SUV. I mean, it kind of is, but it's not. That's not the intention. You still get some fun out of it too, though. Now, my next like is partially under the hood, but for the most part, it's the fact that Genesis gives you a couple of big warranties. Under the hood, you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty, and bumper to bumper, you get a new car warranty of 5-year, 60,000 miles. So those are both really good. If you're gonna, if you're questioning the idea of reliability, first of all, you've got direct and port injection with these engines, both engines, which is a big thumbs up in my opinion. You also get the 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. I mean, that's just awesome. So that might convince you to get this just because of the warranty. Now, the third thing that I like is the fact that we're not on a loud road right now, but on loud roads, high speeds, whatever it is, this is a really quiet interior. I mean, if you want to converse with people in here, there's no problem doing that. Listening to your music sounds excellent. It's just quiet. And I say that because I just got out of a Lexus NX, which is a direct competitor with this. I talked about this in my full review too, but this is definitely quieter than that is on high-speed road surfaces and rough textured low-speed road surfaces too. It's just a quiet interior overall. And that really, really makes for a premium experience and a luxurious experience, because that's what you expect when you get a luxury vehicle. And Genesis did a really good job with this. If you want some more noise in here, you can actually turn the sound settings. It's called the active sound design, to where you can get more engine sound in here if you want. So that's with it on its highest change. And then I have it off now. And you might not be able to tell the difference on the camera, but it's quiet, which is a big deal to me. My next like is that the interior is full of nice touches, especially for this $50,000 price tag. It's just very premium overall in terms of the layout and the look and the materials. So up on the dash, we've got this, it's actually leatherette, but you can still get leatherette here. It's better than just a hard plastic. And then leatherette on the door panel. It's a nice cohesive look, a large screen, which is standard, leather steering wheel. Same thing over on this door as well. And you have ambient lighting in here to top off this interior, and the ambient lighting looks fantastic and it's customizable. And be sure to check out my night review if you want to see more details on that. My next like is something that probably doesn't get a lot of love, but to me it's a big deal. It's in the cargo area. So you have a little storage right there, which isn't it, but then you actually get a spare tire. Yes, you can see the outline. There is a spare tire included. The reason that's a like is because so often nowadays, luxury vehicles in particular are foregoing the spare tire altogether. In fact, I was in a Lexus NX right before this, which is a direct competitor to this. It has run flat tires, which are louder and more expensive to replace, and it did not have a spare tire. This one does. And another like is that even though we have the 4-cylinder on this model, you can get a 375 horsepower twin turbo V6 with almost 400 pound-feet of torque. For this size of a vehicle, I'm glad Genesis is giving us the option of a faster, fun, kind of AMG competitive type of engine. And I haven't driven it personally, but I've been able to see it and talk to people that drove it, and it looked and sounded fun, and I can only imagine how fun it is in this small little Genesis. So after telling you some things that I like and don't like, I overwhelmingly like this vehicle way more than the things that I don't like about it. I think it's a great little compact SUV, a good blend of sportiness and luxury, and Genesis really offers a lot. But if you want to see the full review, be sure to look in the description below. Let me know what you like or don't like down below. Hit the thumbs down button if you hated this video and you don't like my opinion. Thumbs up button if you liked it. Hope you have a great day, and we'll catch you next time.